morning and welcome to my channel. This is my first tutorial of the year. So happy to be back. And my first amigurumi. Amigurumi is your crochet toy. I love making amigurumi. It's so much fun. And I thought this would be quite a nice little easy-ish project if this is your first. I'm going to put the written pattern in the description below so that you can follow that as well. But I've also gone step by step each row, and I hope if you're a beginner that you can follow it pretty easily. Yeah, I'm so excited that you're going to be joining me. I hope you are, and please let me know if you can follow nicely, if there's anything I need to explain more, change, do better, all that kind of stuff. I would really appreciate your feedback. And yeah, let's get going. Thank you so much for joining me on this lovely day. Okay, to get started, we're going to do the first little shoe, and for that we're going to make a slip knot on our hook. And for this foot I'm going to do this method, and for the other foot I will do the magic ring method. But anyway, to start this little leg, we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to use this first little chain that we made as the circle. Okay, so we've got our first there, and we're going to make 6 single crochets into the center. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. This is the easier, more beginner-friendly way of doing things. The magic ring isn't difficult, but it does sometimes take a bit of practice. So yeah, that's a nice beginner way to make your circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We go back into the first stitch, and for round 2 we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch. Okay, so we've gone from 6. After round 2 we will have 12 single crochets in our circle. 1, 2, in, pull through, 2 in your hook, yarn over, through both. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the last 2 stitches. To complete the second round, 11 and 12. Okay, if you're happy to do a lot of counting, you don't need to use a stitch marker just yet, but I think it definitely is easier if you put your mind at rest to use a stitch marker. Then you know where you are, and it's a lot easier. Okay, so to use your stitch marker, you do the first stitch, grab your stitch marker and put it into that stitch, so you know that is where you began. All right, so on to round 3. Round 3's pattern is 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, all the way around. And at the end we will have 18 stitches. Okay, so we've done our first one. So in the second stitch we're going to do 2, 1 and 2. In the third there's a 1, fourth 2, and so forth. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, okay, and the last 2, 1 in the second last one, and then we end with 2 in the very last stitch there. So now we should have 18 stitches, and let's just do a count to make sure that that is what we do have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, because that's where we started. Okay, so the con of doing this method of starting with the 2 chains and then using the first chain as the center is that you can't really close it so nicely. That you're going to have a bit of a hole in the middle. With the magic ring, the big plus about that is that you can close it almost completely. So we're going to see in the one foot we're going to have a bit of a hole, and in the second one it'll be closed completely. So that is definitely why it's probably worth learning to do the magic ring. Okay, so this is as big as our little foot's going to be. We're going to do another couple rows, keeping our stitch count of 18. And once again, that's easiest if you just put your marker into your first stitch, and then you can carry on round without too much thought and too much counting. We're going to do 2 rows of just one single crochet in each stitch, which will make up the little shoe. Okay, so now we've stopped increasing the size of the circle. So as you go around, you'll see how it's starting to curl over. And the last 3, I'll show you now how it's not flat. The circle isn't flat anymore. See, it's starting to bend like that. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 1 more row of 1 single crochet in each stitch to make up the shoe, and then we're going to do a color change. Okay, so let's do this last one. First stitch in the nice colorful green, and we're going to do the last 17 stitches. Okay, we can turn it the right way around and complete that stitch. Okay, let's take the marker out and get the color we're going to be using for the fur. Okay, and then what we do is we simply take the new color, go into the stitch, and then instead of carrying on with your green, we're just going to take the new color, hook it over, pull it through, and then use the long side just to complete the stitch like that. Okay, then we've got our new color. So now all we need to do is to tighten all the 2 colors, the 2 strings here, and you can't see me doing it now, but just quickly do a knot with those 2 colors to secure the change. I'll show you now. There's the knot done, the color change, and then with our working yarn we're going to carry on with our next row. Okay, I'm going to go into that first stitch again just to make a nice clear another first single stitch. Okay, now for the pattern we're sticking with 18 single crochets with our new color to do the leg part of our little mouse. Okay, so we're just going to go round and round for 7 rows. So just continue, make 7 rows of this new fur color, and I'll meet you when we've all done our 7 rows to make up the leg. Okay, there we go. There's the first leg done. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches. For this first leg, you can just cut your thread, put it through, and keep it like that until we've done our second leg and can join them together. Okay, so as said, I'm going to do the second leg with the other method, with the magic ring method. So let's go nice and slowly and do the magic ring. Start similarly. You do an X over your 2 forefingers there, under the first thread, over the second thread, and then just twist it around like that. Hold things nice and firmly. Take your working thread round and secure that stitch like that. Okay, shall we do it again quickly? You take your thread, make an X on your fingers, under the first one, over the second one, and just turn it around. Okay, there you've got your loop, your short thread, your working thread. Take it around and secure. Okay, there we go. There's your magic ring. And once again, to start, we're going to do 6 single crochets into our magic ring. That first securing doesn't count, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now you can see with the magic ring method, you pull your short piece and it pretty much closes that little circle. We can close it even further in a while, but yeah, that's the other method. All right, for the second row, we're going to do an increase in each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you don't know where you started, then count back and you'll see that is your first little stitch. And we're not ending and chaining 1 and starting the second row. We're just going in a spiral. Okay, so that's your first stitch, and we're going to do 2 single crochets in each of our 6 stitches again to get us to 12 stitches in our circle. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12. Okay, that's our second row. You can see our 12 little stitches, and if you see here, if I pull the short one even further, that middle hole practically disappears. Okay, so that was the second increase row. We're going to do 1 more increase row, and like we did in the first foot, we're going to start using our magic marker, our marker, so that we don't need to worry too much about counting or where we started. Okay, so first stitch, the pattern goes, we do an increase in the second stitch. So 1, 2, please excuse my cat, he's coming to say hello. You might hear his purring. 2 in the next, one in the next, 2, and you probably see him in a second. 1, 2, 1, 2, and to end off our last single and our last double. Okay, as in the other foot, we're doing 5 rows or 5 rounds of the shoe, but we've done all our increases, so that's where we are at the end of row 3. We're going to do another 2 rows of just maintaining our stitch count, and here you can either put your stitch marker back in or just count to 18 twice. Okay, so let me do that quickly. I'm going to change colors at the end of these 2 rows, and I'll see you when we're about to change colors. Okay, we've done our 5 rows of the green of our shoe, and we're going to do the color change. So once again, we go into the next stitch, find your fur color, get the end of it, just pull it through so that you've got those 2 on your hook. Take the working yarn of the new color and pull it through. Okay, once again, you need to tighten the colors at the back. Do a knot to secure them completely, and then do your first single crochet back into that first stitch. I don't always do that, do another single crochet into the first stitch, but I'm doing that today just to make it look like a visible first stitch. Okay, now we have got 7 rows of these 18 stitches in the beige color to make up the rest of the leg. So carry on, do your 7 rows of 18 single crochets, and I'll meet you up when we've finished those. You're not going to tie off like you did in the first leg. We're going to actually use the working yarn to carry on. Although there is going to be a color change shortly after we join the legs. Okay, let me finish my 7 rows. I'll see you now. Okay, so here's the second leg, and as I mentioned, you're not going to cut off and thread in with the second leg. You're going to get them both together. Check that they are the same length. Okay, they should be. They've both got 18 stitches. And now what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to using our stitch marker just for clarity. I do our first stitch of the next round, grab a stitch marker and put it in. Okay, now we're going to do 6 single crochets on our first leg. That was the first one. Here's 2, here's 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, there we go. So we've done 6 single crochets in the first leg, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then it doesn't matter where into the second leg you go, just choose a stitch and join it like that. You're going to take your thread on this side into the other side and join it with a single crochet. Okay, so there we go, they're joined. Now remember, you've got 18 single crochets on the one leg, 3 in the middle and 18 on the other side, which brings us to 39 stitches all in all. So we're going to maintain 39 for this first round. We're going to do the 18 stitches on the second leg. We've done the 1, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. We've almost been round the second leg. We're coming to the 3 chains, and there very carefully we see where they are. There's the first one in, single crochet in the first chain, single crochet in the second chain, and single crochet in the third chain. And then we've reinforced that join, and we're going to go back into the first leg. We started the 6, and there should be 12 stitches left on this first leg. 1, 7, 8. Okay, there we go. There are 2 little legs joined together. In my Melly the mouse, here she is here, I put the little frill quite low in the dress. In this little mouse that I'm making now, I'm going to make the frill slightly higher, so sort of there, make the little tutu start there. So we're not going to do any front loops just yet. We are going to do a color change. We are going to change back to the green of the feet. Yeah, but that's just a color change, and then I'll show you once we get to where we're going to put the little tutu, how we go about doing that. All right, so there we go, and we're going to do a color change back to the green. That's where we started the first stitch. So we take out the stitch marker, start our first stitch. Oh, and we have a cat back. Okay, let's see how it goes. I might have to take him away and close the door if he doesn't cooperate. But let's see how it goes. Okay, so you put the new color on, take the working yarn of that new color, and pull through. Okay, tighten everything by pulling the threads at the back and by doing a knot. I'm not going to do the knot just yet, but if you do a knot at the back, it secures it that much more firmly, and you do your first single crochet. Okay, there we go. So we've changed color, and remember we've got 39 stitches, and because later we're going to need 40 stitches to do all our increasing and decreasing. There's our first stitch there. We're going to do an increase in the middle, somewhere in the middle. Okay, so we've done 2. We're going to want to end up with 40 stitches. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's look nice and carefully where the next one is. There it is. See, it's on the other side of the chain. It's not the clear stitch side. You'll see on that side you can see where the stitches are more clearly, but here you see that's where the next one is there. Second chain, third chain is there. Okay, we've done our join, and we're going to go around the second leg, and then we're going to do the 18 round the second leg. As I mentioned, we need 40 stitches. So when I get to the back, of our little mouse, I'm going to do an increase just to get us up to 40 stitches. Okay, this is where we are. We're just about to go into the 3 chains. I'm going to increase in the middle chain. So it's not that one. It's not this one. It's this next one. So we're going to do an increase just to bring out our chain count, our stitch count to 40. And then carry on going round and round until we've completed our first round in this new dress color. Okay, I'll see you at the end of this round when we've done our first round of the dress color. Okay, this is where we are right now. We've done our first row of the dress color, and for each row, for each stripe, we're going to do 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've done 1. We're going to do another 4, and then we're going to do our back loops only to make our attachment for the tutu. Okay, so let's go round and round another 4 times, maintaining our stitch count of 40. You can use a marker, which makes it easier, although you can sort of see where your color changed, but just to make things easier, it's pretty helpful to use a stitch marker. And if you don't have stitch markers like this or any other kind, you can use just a piece of different color wool that you pull through that stitch just to mark where the first one was. Okay, so we're going to carry on with 40 single crochets, 1 in each stitch all the way around for another 4 rounds, and I'll meet you up then, and we'll do the next step in the pattern. Okay, there we go. We've come to the end of the first stripe, the first color of the costume. So, and you can see in little Melly, we're up to there. Okay, so we're going to go into the second color. I am debating which color to use. I have other greens, but they're a little bit thinner than the normal cotton. So either I could use 2 strands, or I could use a white. So I am trying to decide what to do here. See that together, that would be the 2 strands, which is quite nice. Or I could use a white. I don't have a white cotton. This is just an acrylic, but it's also quite thin, so that would work. There's quite a decision, but I actually think I'm going to go with the 2 strands of green. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay, so just to work with the 2 strands, you just hold them together and carry on as you would do if you just had the 1. Okay, so let's get them out the way and do our color change. So there we go, we were there at the end. So for this next row, we're going to work in the back loop only, because we're going to leave the front loop available to attach the tutu later. So as you can see, this is the whole stitch, the whole V. This is the back loop. These are the back loops here, and there are the front loops. Okay, so we're going to work in the back loops only. So let's join as we have been, but going only into the back loop. Get our 2 colors that we are using together, like that. Pull them both through. Oopsie. Let's see how that goes. Pull them both through. Then go with the long sides and secure. Okay. It's going to be interesting to see what this looks like, if they are the right thickness, or thicker. But yeah, let's see how this goes. All right, that was the first stitch where we joined. So just to be on the safe side, the easier side, let's put in a stitch marker, and we can go from there. All right, so we're working into the back loops only. So there's your second stitch, and we're still doing single crochet, but with just back loops only. Okay, and we should still have the same stitch count. We should still have 40, and we need to do 5 rows of this new combination color. Okay, so carry on, single crochet, 1 into each, round and round and round and round until you've done 5 rounds of the second green combination color. Okay, and when we get there, we'll meet up and do the next row. So remember, here you are, you can see the front loops. Whoopsie, that needle's in the way. There we go. You can see the front loops, which we're going to be using later to attach the tutu. So carry on this whole next row using the back loops only and making the front loops stand out so we can use them later. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'll see you when we come to the end of this big stripe of the next color of green. Okay, we've done the 2 colors, 5 rows of each, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, and we're going to go back to this first color and complete another 5 rows. As you can see with Millie here, there are 3 stripes, and we're not decreasing too much. I think we might start decreasing in this third color change. I'm actually not completely sure at this stage, but not much. We start decreasing when we get to the head part, as you can see, to decrease and make her little head. All right, so we're going to do our 3rd stripe of her cozy. Then we're going to make her arms and her head and her ears. All right, so take out the stitch marker into the next stitch, get the other color, pull through, find the long side of it. With all this green, it's a little bit confusing. Here it is, and pull through. Okay, pull everything tight at the back. Stop and do a knot if you wish, but otherwise just do your single crochet back into that same stitch and it will be nice and secured. Okay, so now we're doing our last 5 rows of color before we get back to the fur. Once you've changed color, you can snip the old color off. You've done the change, you can give it a snip so that it gets out of the way and tuck it in. You can tuck it into your piece, and then let's go around, stitch marker back in. That was our 2nd stitch I did now, and carry on for another 5 rounds. Same stitch count, no increasing, decreasing. Another 5 rows of 40 stitches. Okay, like little Melly the mouse, this little pink one, we have done 3 color changes, 3 rows of 5, and we are on to, we're going to change back to the fur color now. We've done no decreases, so that's all been 40 stitches repeat up till now, and then we're going to start decreasing. We're going to do 2 more rows of no decreases using the skin color, the fur color, and then from there we're going to do the decreasing gradually to make the shape of her little head. Okay, so there we're up to there. We're going to change color back to the fur color. Okay, end of the 5th round. I'll grab the fur color, pull it through, take the long piece, pull it through, pull everything tight, do a single crochet in that same stitch, and then make your way around. We're still maintaining the same stitch count, so another 40 stitches. we're going to do 2 rows actually of no increases or no decreases or anything. So let's do that. 1 single crochet into each and every stitch for 2 rounds. Let's meet up when we've done that, and we'll start with decreases. Okay, see you in a sec. Okay, we got our 2 rows, maintaining the stitch count of 40, and now we're going to start with decreases. Okay, so we're going to need our stitch count, our stitch marker back to our first stitch. Get the stitch marker, put it in the first stitch. All right, so the first row of decreasing, we're going to do 8 single crochets and then a decrease. So that's the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then our decrease. We're going to work only in the front loops. We're doing an invisible decrease. So you're going to the front loop of the first stitch, the front loop of the second stitch, round, and do a single crochet. And you've turned 2 stitches into 1. Okay, then you start again. 8 stitches and a decrease. Okay, after our first row of decreases, it's only decreased slightly by 3 stitches, so can't really see a difference just yet, and we want that to be the case. We're doing a gradual decrease, so we're not going to decrease in every row. Once you've done the row of decreases, you're going to do a row of maintaining that new stitch count. So the next row you do is just going to be a row with 1 single crochet in each all the way around, and in the following row we're going to do another decrease. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of this one when we've just maintained the stitch count, which should be 37. Okay, we've maintained the stitch count for the next row, and for the 5th row of going back to the fur color, we're going to do another decrease, also gradual. We're going to do 7 stitches and then a decrease. So first stitch, put in your stitch marker, do another 6, four, 5, and 6, and then your invisible decrease into the first front loop of the first stitch you're decreasing, into the second loop, into the front stitch of the second stitch you're decreasing, through like a normal single crochet, and round. Okay, you've got 1 less stitch, and then you carry on, do that again, 7 and a decrease, 7 and a decrease. Continue till you come to the end of this next row. And once again, after the decrease row, your 7 decrease, 7 decrease, you're going to do a row of maintaining that new stitch count. So just 1 single crochet into each and every stitch. For the next round. And after the maintenance row, we're going to do another decrease, and we're on to 6 single crochets and a decrease. So let's get going. 1, mark our place, another 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and a decrease. Okay, and follow that pattern all the way around. 5 single crochets and a decrease, and the row after that will be a maintenance row once again. Okay, after the maintenance row, we're going to go on to 5 single crochets and a decrease. I've done my first one there, And we're going to do another 4 invisible decrease, followed by the next row where you maintain that new stitch count. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 and a decrease, and another few of those until you get into the end of the row. You'll have 4 less stitches, and the row after you're going to maintain that new stitch count. Okay, see you at the end of the next, the row after this one. Okay, when you get to this point, we're at row 37, or even a row or 2 before, but somewhere here we need to start stuffing our little mouse. So let's get some cushion filling, some synthetic cushion filling, or whatever you would like to use to fill up your amigurumi. I also sometimes save my wool scraps and use that, but sometimes the colors tend to sort of be able to are seen through there, so it's nice to use the plain white synthetic stuffing. It works nicely, and that you can get at most sewing shops or knitting shops or wool shops. Okay, so stuff it quite firmly right down to the bottom of the leg. You want it to be pretty firm. You can of course put in a little bit more later, but there we go. Let's add some more. You can see him filling up his little tummy, looking good. Okay, and you're actually quite surprised, you will be quite surprised as to how much stuffing seems to fit into these little creatures. Okay, there we go. Okay, for now that seems good, and we're going to continue with our toy. Okay, the end of the 39th row, which is the maintenance row after the 5 decreases, you're going to go down to 4 single crochets and a decrease, followed by a maintenance row. So 1 2, let's put this back quickly. 3 4, and your first decrease, and carry on with that. 4 single crochets and a decrease all the way around, followed by the whole following row, 1 single crochet in each. Okay, we have a cat back here, but we will proceed. We're nearly done. Okay, we finished the row of the maintenance row after the 4 single crochet decrease. So as you can guess, I'm sure, we're going to do 3 single crochets and then a decrease, followed by a row with 1 single crochet in each. Okay, we should have 20 stitches now. At the end of these 2 rows we should have 16. Okay, let's do this. The 1 2 3 4 and a decrease, and then followed by a row of 1 stitch in each. Okay, I'll see you at the end of these 2 rows. Okay, and in the last decrease row we're going to be doing 2 single crochets and a decrease. Okay, so let's do that. 2 single crochets and a decrease, and our count should come down to 12. So 1 2 and decrease all the way around, and then do your maintenance row once again. continue to add stuffing as you go, just to get that nice rounded shape. And you can add right till the last moment. Okay, looking nice. All right. Okay, when we've got our 12 stitches left after that last decrease round, we're not going to do a maintenance round. We're going to close it from there. So if you can fit a little more stuffing in, if you feel you would like to, this is your last chance. So I'm going to see what I can put a little bit more in, just to make the top of the head rounder and firmer. Okay, there we go. All right, now to close that gap, we're going to cut our wool, take our stitch marker out, and tie it off like that. Grab our needle, thread the wool, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go into each of the outer stitches like that. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, each and every one. It's a little bit tricky to see that you're not going to miss any. Okay, and once you've done that, you can just pull it tight and you'll see the hole disappears, decreases there. All right, so then the top of your head has closed, and you can just sew in your thread like that and cut it off. All right, now we have made the body of your mouse. We need to make some arms, some ears, and the tutu, and put its little face on. All right, so we've done the basics. Okay, on to the next thing. Okay, now we're going to make the ears. Obviously we need to make 2 of them. We are going to start with either a magic ring or the other method, but into the magic ring we are going to put 6 single crochets. So let's secure it first. And then into that magic ring we're going to put 6 single crochets. Okay, once we've got our 6 single crochets, we can pull the magic ring, the short end, and close the loop. Straighten everything out and go on to round 2. Okay, round 2 is exactly the same as the foot. We're going to go straight into the first stitch and double up. So we're going to do 2 single crochets into each of the stitches of round 2 and end up with 12 stitches. Okay, 12 stitches in our magic ring. We can pull the short end and close the hole in the middle and go on to the next round, round 3. Do our first stitch, find our stitch marker, put it in, and the pattern once again is 1 stitch in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and so forth as we did with the foot. Okay, so it's 1 2 1 2 1 2, and I'll see you at the end of this 3rd round. After the 3rd round we've got 18 stitches, and then we're going to do our last increase round. And as we're still increasing, the pattern goes as follows: 1 into the first, stitch, 1 into the second stitch, and 2 into the third. Okay, so it's 1 1 2 1 1 2 all the way around, and then we'll reach our maximum stitch count for the ear of 24 stitches. Okay, row 5 to 8, we're going to just maintain our stitch count. So 5, 6, 7, 8 into the next 4 rounds. We're just going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch, and then we'll start decreasing. All right, so let's do our 4 rounds, and I'll meet you up when we've done up to row 8. Okay, we've done our 8 rows, and our 9th row is our first row of decreases. And the pattern for this 9th row is 2 single crochets and then a decrease. So 1, 2, decrease, remember, into the first front loop, into the second front loop, and a single crochet that turns 2 into 1. 1, 2, decrease, 1, 2, decrease, etc. Okay, I'll see you at the end of this decrease row. Okay, and on to the 10th row. Here we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, 1 single crochet, 1 decrease all the way around. So I've done my first one there, put in the marker, into the front loop, into the front loop, put those 2 stitches together, 1 single crochet, together, and so forth. Okay, see you at the end of this round. Row. And the final decrease row, we're going to start, and we're going to do a single decrease for this row as well, okay, as our final decrease. At the end of the 11th row, we'll have 9 stitches left, and your little mouse ear is complete. Okay, obviously we need 2 of those, so go ahead and make 1 more ear quickly, and we will go and do the arms. Okay, we're getting there, onto the arms. Okay, so to start the arms, it's the same as the other body parts so far. Magic ring, 7, 6 single crochets into the magic ring. Okay, so there we've just tightened it, and we're going to do 6 single crochets into this magic ring. And straight on to doubling it. Let's straighten it out, have a look, see, tighten it. Okay, so it's row 2, 2 single crochets into each. So here we go. First one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11, 12. Okay, and that's all the increases for the hands. And now we are going to do another 3 rounds, maintaining the stitch count of 12. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds in this first little part. Okay, so carry on and do 3 more rounds of 12 stitches of 12 single crochets, and I'll meet you when we're changing color. Okay, now we're going to change to the sleeve color. So take a look at little Miss Mouse. Whichever color is the top stripe, we're going to do the sleeve that color. So here we look at our little mouse, and it's this color that we're going to move on to now, which is going to be the sleeve color. All right, so we're maintaining the stitch count of 12, but we're going to grab that green, and we're going to carry on, change color, and carry on doing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 7 rounds of the green. Okay, so carry on, do 7 rounds of your sleeve color, and then make another sleeve, make another arm, and I'll meet you up when we're going to start the tutu. Okay, here we are. We've got the body with the legs, body part, we've got the 2 arms, and we've got the 2 ears. Here we go, it's the second ear. Okay, before we sew everything on, we're going to do the tutu, or the little frilly dress, and we're going to decide which color is a good one to use for that. I think I'm going to use a solid green. So yes, so I'm going to go and get the colors I need. Okay, I've chosen this nice green, grass green color, Kismet Raisa, pure cotton. It's color 68. It doesn't have a name per se, but yeah, that's what I'm going to use for the frilly skirt. Okay, so to get started with that, choose a stitch, one of these front loops that we've left open, one on the side in the less conspicuous spot. Pull through the new color and let's tie it on, just so that we know it is secure. Do a knot and it is nicely attached to our doll. Okay, from there we're going to chain 3 in this spot here, and we're going to do another double crochet in the same front loop, and we're going to do 2 double crochets in each and every front loop around this little mouse. Okay, so there we go. We've done 2 in the first one. We're going to go right to the second front loop. It is fiddly work, so go nice and slowly. Where are we? There we go. We'll pull through 2, pull through 2, another one into that same one there. Oops. Pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, so in your own time, go nice and slowly around in each and every front loop, and do 2 double crochets. Okay, I'll meet you when we've all done 2 double crochets in each of these front loops. Okay, at the end of row 1 of the tutu, this is what it looks like, and we're going to join with a slip stitch to the top first, the third chain that you made, just a slip stitch. Okay, and the first row is done. Now for row 2, you're going to alternate between having 1 double crochet in each stitch and then 2. Okay, so let's see where we are. Okay, we've done 1 in that one, so in the next stitch we're going to fit 2 double crochets, and then the next one back to 1, the next one 2. Okay, and you carry on like that, 1 2 1 2 double crochets, and your frill is going to increase. It's going to be nice and wavy. Okay, 1 2 1 2 double crochets, and I'll see you at the end when we get to the end of row 2 of this little skirt. Okay, there we go. Come to the end of the second row of the skirt. We do the same. We do a slip stitch in the top chain, and I am just going to tie that quickly. We have got 1 more quick row to do. It's not compulsory, but I think it finishes off the skirt quite nicely. I'm going to take white. Yeah, I've got white cotton, number 3 it is, and I'm going to quickly find a spot working always on the same side. You see, this is the right way. You can see the stitches face this way. So we're going to work from this side. Start anywhere, get your white, and what we're going to do here for this last row is just one single crochet in each, just to finish off the skirt. Okay, so there I've hooked it on. I'm going to secure it there and then do a single crochet straight into that same stitch, pulling everything tight. Okay, there we go. Okay, so one single crochet into each and every stitch, and that will finish the skirt off nicely. Okay, and there we go. We've done the white edging, which makes such a difference, makes it pop. And the last little bit we need to do is to sew on the ears and to sew on the arms. Okay, and to do the face. All right, so the ears, you're going to put 2 rows down. Here's the center where you started. You're going to count 1, 2. In the 3rd row on the side of the head, from the 3, 4, 5, and 6, you're going to put 1 ear. Use the long thread there to sew it on, and the other one on the other side like that. Oopsie, can I show you very nicely here? There we go. So 1 on each side, starting from 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1 on the other side. Okay, I'm going to quickly sew both ears on, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, and there's the ears sewn on nicely. All right, so all we've got left now are the arms and the face. We're going to take the arms. I don't really stuff the arms. It's maybe a little bit, maybe put a little bit of stuffing in the arms, but yeah, they're also nice just to I mean, they've got just the threads in them that we started with, that I've just put in there. And obviously if you'd like to, you can put a little bit of stuffing in, but I'm not going to. And then you just place it where you would like it. I'm going to do it off camera, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. You take your thread and you thread your hook, you thread your needle, and then close this little arm. Okay, and you sew it closed with your needle, and then place it where you'd like it, and gently sew it on, taking 1 stitch from the arm, 1 stitch from the body, 1 stitch into the arm, etc., as nice and neatly as you can. Okay, you do that arm, then the next arm, sitting similarly, and then we'll get back to doing the face. Okay, nearly there. Okay, on to the last part, the little face. You can choose to use safety eyes. I generally embroider on. I find it easier and cuter, and yeah, it's my option usually. And you can do it any way you like. This is my little face. The eyes, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, between 7 and 8 rows down, with 1, 2, 3 rows in between. The little nose and the whiskers. Okay, you can do your face any way you like, but there we go. There's my little face. I'm going to do my new mouse's little face, and then we will be completely finished. And we're finished. There she is. There's her cute little face. And Millie the mouse. They look like little twins. Please, in the comments, if you can think of a cute name for her, please let me know. Our new green little mouse. And I'd love to see yours as well. If you've followed and ended this project and done the whole thing, I would so love to see your end result, your little mouse, and what you've called her, and what you're going to do with her. And I thank you so very much for listening to the whole thing, and for following my pattern. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, and I will see you again very soon.